Canelo Alvarez versus Terence, but Crawford isn't just another super fight. It's the kind of matchup that splits families into team chats and turns casual observers into late-night analysts. It's Las Vegas, September 13th. It's Netflix instead of pay-per-view. It's legacy, ambition, and risk colliding at super middleweight. Before we unpack everything, training room clues, press conference heat, betting odds, power versus skill debates, and a flood of takes from Gervonta Davis to Clarissa Shields. Do this for me. Drop your city and age in the comments and tell me who you got and why. Hit like if you want more honest, detailed boxing breakdowns. Subscribe and ring the bell. Our full film studies on both fighters land this week. Everybody wants to fight everybody, but this one hits different. This fight was never built on trash talk alone. It began with a question that echoed across boxing. Is Crawford really going to jump 2 weight classes and face Canelo Alvarez at 168 pounds? Could he? Should he? One voice didn't hesitate. Gervonta "Tank" Davis, one of boxing's most explosive knockout artists, said it as plainly as anyone has. Canelo will humiliate Terence Crawford. Davis, who has had his share of back and forth with Crawford over the years, called attention to something old school fans haven't forgotten. Even Yuri Ortiz Gamboa buzzed him, he said. His point wasn't that Crawford is chinny. It's that even the best can be touched, and at super middleweight, the touch is different. Canelo's power and size will be too much, Tank argued. For him, it's not a riddle. He's a good fighter, he conceded about Crawford. But this guy, meaning Canelo, is great at what he does. Crawford's response? He didn't back down or sell outrage. He told you what he sees when he watches Canelo train. Respect. What is there to talk about? Crawford said with that deadpan confidence he's carried for a decade, "You're fighting the best fighter in the world. You better be taking it serious." He followed with the line that rolled like a drum. All the doubters at the end of the fight, "You're gonna go home and cry." And I meant that. This isn't an act for Crawford. He's built his career on making the bold look reasonable. Undisputed at 140. Undisputed at 147. Now he's daring to take every strap off the biggest box office star of the era. And he truly believes all the talk about size will look like an excuse when the night is over. Training footage that turned heads. Boxing fans and coaches can smell change through screen pixels. Over the last few weeks, several clips of Canelo Alvarez at his media workout and additional behind-the-scenes footage showed something we don't always see from him at 168, an emphasis on speed over mass. Not lighter just with camera, but leaner and sharper. The drill design looks specific. Quick entries, quick exits, compact combinations, reset, repeat. Less loaded stepping. More fast twitch. Was it by design to deal with Crawford's rhythm and switch hitting? Almost certainly. Analysts noted how Canelo worked on getting his lead foot outside against a southpaw, classic move for lining up the straight right hand. They also noticed some cross-stepping in clips, which several coaches quickly flagged. Against Crawford's angle manipulation, a cross stance could be a trap begging for counters. The margin for wasted movement is zero when you're fighting the most opportunistic counterpuncher in the sport. Meanwhile, Crawford's camp made just as much noise by not overreacting. Reports coming out of Omaha and Las Vegas say Bud looks strong without looking heavy. Sparring partners? Not blown-up welterweights. Real super middleweights and light heavyweights. And if you believe Shakur Stevenson, the blue chip witness whose eye test is second to none, Crawford has been dominating those sessions. Everybody Bud spars is the same size as Canelo, Shakur said. He dominates. He added a reminder as simple as it gets. You can have all the chin in the world. If you get hit clean by the right guy, you feel it. At 168, both men wear 8-ounce gloves. The punches are painfully honest. A press conference that felt like a lump of coal on a flame. The energy was exactly what you want. Canelo, serious and without wasted words. Powerful in the way a quiet room can be. Crawford, calm but needling the confidence. Those belts, he said, they're coming home with me. Canelo unruffled. He's not going to beat me. Don't worry about it. Crawford leaned forward. You'll see I'm different. Canelo shook his head. Nothing different. It wasn't a WWE presser. It was two men who have beaten almost everyone in front of them convincing themselves and you, that they'll do it again. This wasn't about one-upmanship. It was about certainty. The case for Canelo Alvarez. Wait, resume, and will. Let's be clear about the foundation of this argument. Canelo Alvarez at 168 is more than a bigger man. He's a complete fighter who has gone from counterpunching prodigy at junior middleweight to an all-terrain champion at super middleweight. His defensive skill set does head movement inside tight spaces, the ability to roll shots by inches, a guard that turns into offense at exactly the right moment. He has faced and beaten big, strong, experienced men. He went all the way up to light heavyweight to stop Sergey Kovalev. He beat Callum Smith and Caleb Plant. He cracked Billy Joe Saunders' face with single shot to Dmitry Bivol at 175, a real and meaningful defeat. Canelo showed durability and balance against a larger, technically immaculate opponent. His series with Gennady Golovkin speaks for itself. When you talk about Canelo's experience, you aren't talking about has he fought big guys in sparring. You're talking about the weight of entire careers pressing down on you while you try to catch your breath. He's used to it. This is what Gervonta Davis and other Canelo backers are pointing to. Not just power and physicality. Big fight conditioning. Short punch mechanics that land hard and fast in the pocket. A chin that until now has shrugged off the best of middle and super middleweight. For these observers, the question isn't can Canelo handle Crawford's skill. It's can Crawford handle that density of pressure, minute after minute, in an unfamiliar weight class. The case for Terence Crawford. Ring IQ that travels anywhere. You don't make two complete undisputed runs in the four-belt era by accident. Terence Crawford is not a smaller man who relies on speed. He's an adaptable craftsman. He's the best switch hitter in the sport. Able to walk you into a right hand as an orthodox fighter, then show you a left hand from southpaw without giving you the body language cue. Defense with style wins rounds. There's a lazy trope that calls Canelo a brawler and Crawford a slickster. It's wrong. Canelo's defense is subtle and compact, built to live in punching range and make you miss just enough to feed his counters. Crawford's defense is holistic. Feet, angles, lead hand fakes, distance manipulation. In the pocket, Canelo's defense is more efficient. At mid-range and beyond, Crawford's makes him harder to read. So who has the better defense? You're going to hear a lot of fans and pundits pick Crawford on skills across the board. Others will say Canelo's upper body movement makes him the better slipper. The truth is more interesting. The better defender might be the man who dictates where a fight takes place. If it's fought often at close range, advantage Canelo. If it's fought at the edge of range where feints and footwork count, advantage Crawford. Size versus skill. Why both sides of ammo? Yes, Crawford has moved up successfully before. He's beaten larger men and made the size gap irrelevant with strategy and speed. But at 168, everything is heavier. The arms you parry, the gloves in your guard, the shoulders leaning into you in clinches that sap legs. Skeptics, like veteran trainer Abel Sanchez and former champion Shane Mosley, aren't disrespecting Crawford's skill. They're questioning whether asking those skills to carry that much extra load for 36 minutes is viable against a champion of Canelo's caliber. Sanchez went further. He argued that even a natural light heavyweight with size and style edge, Dmitry Bivol, had to fight a near-perfect fight to beat Canelo. If that's what it takes for a big, strong man at 175, what will it take for a smaller man at 168? His prediction: Canelo adjusts by round 5 and takes over fight when the speed differential narrows. On the other side, analysts like Clarissa Shields and Manny Robles see a path for Crawford, clear and legitimate. Robles notes that Canelo doesn't look as physically imposing in this camp. That's not a critique, it's an observation. Bud, Robles said, is the most complete fighter in the world. Him, and in no way, switch hitting, counterpunching, ring generalship. Shields flat out disagrees with predictions of a Canelo wash. Crawford can adapt, she said, and at this level, that's what wins. If you read that and think, so which is it? Welcome to the fun. Reasonable experts disagree because both men are great. The elephant in the room, Weight gain and accusations. A few voices tried to turn Crawford's bigger frame into an accusation. Trainer Rob Acosta shut it down with a simple explanation. This is what elite training, a monitored diet, and a strength and conditioning plan do to a disciplined athlete. He's always been one of the hardest workers, Acosta said. What you're seeing is the result of nutrition and camp work, not shortcuts. He reminded everyone that fighters carry weight differently at different points in camp, and the camera can mislead. Crawford's face gets full when he's heavy, Acosta said, but he still has abs and definition because that's how he's built. The suggestion: save the allegations for failed tests. Crawford hasn't failed one. Strategy notes you can bank on. Southpaw battles would define long stretches of his fight. If Bud spends extended time left-handed. Canelo's right hand down the middle and his left hook to the body matter even more. Watch Canelo's lead foot on the outside against Southpaw. It's an old rule for a reason. If he secures outside position consistently, he gets a straight right to the nose and limits Bud's angle on the backhand. Canelo's lead hand, the secret key. In his media workout, you could see the emphasis on the jab, not just a score, but to hit Bud's lead hand, freeze him for a beat, and set up the right and the hook. If Canelo brings his jab back to the elite level we've seen in the past, he hides his power better and denies Crawford clean looks at counters. If Canelo's lead hand is lazy, Crawford will time it and take the lane. Crawford's jab and switch, the blade. Bud can win rounds off a jab alone if he varies it and uses it to disguise his switches. He doesn't have to win every exchange. He needs 3 clean scoring moments per round, and he'll bank cards. Switch to orthodox to jab over Canelo's jab. Switch to southpaw to split the guard with the left. The traps will be built in combinations, not isolated shots. Body investment versus body insurance. Canelo's hook to the liver is a fight-altering investment. Crawford doesn't need to match the body output, but he does need to score to the body enough to make Canelo consider the cost of pressure. If Bud neglects the body, Canelo's feet will stay lively in the second half. Referee, ring size, and rhythm. If the ring is 22 feet, Crawford's feet get value. If it's 18, Canelo's pressure feels bigger. A ref who breaks clinches quickly helps Bud reset. A ref who allows long stretches inside gives Canelo opportunities to do subtle, accumulated work. Betting odds and the Netflix factor. The odds as of now have Canelo a modest favorite at roughly minus 180, with Crawford around plus 139. That's relatively tight for a champion who has lived at 168, confronting a man climbing from 147 to 154. The market is respecting Crawford's skill and jab, the same way it respected Canelo's chin and power. In plain English, bookmakers think this is competitive, and reasonable outcomes include Crawford by decision, Canelo by late rounds, or a split that leaves us arguing at 2 a.m. The business side brought its own shock. Netflix is cutting the checks. Reports have Canelo at $150 million, Crawford at $50 million. No pay-per-view back end, because there is no PPV, only Netflix's flat fee structure and ticket sales. On paper, the split looks lopsided. In reality, this is how star power is priced. Canelo is the single biggest box office draw in boxing, with a massive fan base across Mexico, the US, and beyond. Crawford's payday is still the largest of his career. There's no back end, but there is something clean and rare, guaranteed numbers fighters can plan their lives around. The pre-packaged excuse narrative. One loud voice argued this fight is no lose for Crawford. Win and he's a legend. Lose and he was daring to be great. The same voice predicted Crawford himself would lean into that framing if he loses. Here's the fair view. Fans and media will always try to shape the story after the final bell. But real fighters don't protect themselves with narrative padding. Crawford's reputation means more to him than money. That's not opinion. It's obvious in the fights he takes and the way he talks. He knows what's at stake when you step into a bigger man's yard. He knows what critics will say if it goes wrong. He walked toward it anyway. That's not a man building excuses. That's a man setting fire to safety nets.